11 o'clock at night, and Claire was on the balcony, taking a call again. She kept her voice low, her back to me, and the careful way she held herself sent a chill down my spine. I know, just give me a little more time. Liam. She paused for a long time after saying my name, her voice laced with a weariness I'd never heard before. I stood in the living room, a plate with the grilled cheese I'd made for her in my hands, suddenly unsure if I should even walk over. Married 3 years. When had it gotten to the point where we could barely even speak to each other? Just then, a line of glowing text floated in front of my eyes. Game over. The loyal best friend is about to get played. I stared at the floating words, certain I was hallucinating. Claire hung up and walked into the living room. Seeing the sandwich in my hand, she managed a strained smile. Making a midnight snack this late. Who were you talking to just now? I asked, testing the waters. Her expression instantly froze. It was about work. Don't worry about it. Another line of text drifted past. Poor Claire. She's being completely played by Kevin, and she actually thinks Liam is the one who betrayed her. My mind went blank. Kevin? My best friend, Kevin. More text started to appear, like captions materializing out of thin air. Kevin is such a scumbag. He'll do anything to break them up. Those photos are all photoshopped. Liam never cheated. Claire's going to feel so much regret when she finds out the truth. I felt the whole world spin. These weren't hallucinations. They were live comments, and somehow I could see them. What did this mean? Was I living inside some kind of story? Seeing me just standing there, Claire frowned. What's wrong with you? You look pale. Claire, I took a deep breath. Has someone been saying bad things about me? Her eyes flickered. No, of course not. What are you thinking? The comments kept coming. She's already bought Kevin's story. She's convinced Liam has another woman. Tomorrow, Kevin is going to show her the fake photos. Liam's toast. He has no idea what's coming. My heart sank. If these comments were true, then tomorrow Kevin would present his proof of my affair, and Claire was already primed to believe him. Was our marriage really at its end? I'm going to go wash up, Claire said, avoiding my gaze and walking quickly toward the bedroom. I stood rooted to the spot, the grilled cheese in my hands long since gone cold. The comments were still popping up. This is brutal. Liam didn't even do anything. Kevin is pulling out all the stops to get Claire. Why is this guy just standing there? He should be investigating. Wait, investigating? It suddenly hit me. If I could see these comments, it meant I had information no one else did. I didn't have to just wait for this to happen. I could fight back. If Kevin really had faked evidence, there had to be flaws. I pulled out my phone and started scrolling through Kevin's recent Instagram posts. On the surface, everything looked normal, the usual mix of work and weekend trips. But looking closer, several of his photos were taken near our apartment building, and the timestamps were suspiciously convenient. A new comment appeared right on cue. That's right. Kevin has been stalking Liam, waiting for a chance to snap photos. The Photoshop job is so bad you can see the pixelation. Total amateur hour. Rage started to boil inside me. The friend I trusted most was stabbing me in the back, and he was using his lies to turn my own wife against me. He was going to pay for this. The next morning, Claire said she was heading to the office early and didn't even touch her breakfast. As she was getting dressed, I noticed she'd put on makeup and was wearing the blue dress I always said was my favorite. A comment flashed, and my stomach tightened. She's going to meet Kevin. She's ready for the final word. Kevin asked her to meet at Lookout Point Coffee. Said he had something important to tell her. This is it. Today's the day everything goes down. I couldn't just sit here. Claire, what time are you getting off today? We should get dinner together. I'll probably be late, she said without turning around. You should just eat without me. It was just as the comment said. She was going to see him. The moment she left, I sprang into action. First, I needed proof that Kevin had faked the photos. I remembered he'd once bragged about his Photoshop skills from his job at an ad agency. I called our mutual friend, Dave. Hey, Mun, you know what Kevin's been up to lately? Don't even ask. He's been super secretive, talking about some freelance gig to make extra cash, Dave grumbled. He even asked me a few days ago if I knew any Photoshop wizards. A freelance gig? A Photoshop wizard. A new comment materialized. Kevin paid a guy $500 to doctor the photos, and the work is still shoddy. The graphic designer's name is Mark Johnson. His office is in the Innovation Loft, Suite 1205. My eyes lit up. I grabbed my keys and drove straight to the Innovation Loft. Mark's studio was tiny, barely big enough for a desk and a chair. I knocked and walked in to see a young guy with glasses hunched over a computer. Hi, are you Mark Johnson? Yeah. Can I help you with something? I took a deep breath, deciding to go straight for it. A few days ago, a guy named Kevin Bailey hired you to Photoshop some pictures, right? Mark's face changed. Who are you? I'm the guy in the pictures. And they're fake. I pulled out my driver's license and showed him. I want the original files. Mark hesitated. Look, I can't. Client confidentiality. How much did he pay you? I'll double it. 500. I'll give you 1,000. But I want every original file and the complete editing history. Mark glanced at my ID, then at the Venmo app I'd opened on my phone. He finally nodded. A few minutes later, I had all the evidence. Kevin had, in fact, been following me and taking pictures, then clumsily pasting in images of other women he'd downloaded from the internet to make it look like I was with them. The work was terrible. When you zoomed in, you could clearly see the seams. The comments confirmed my victory. He's got the proof. Now all he has to do is expose Kevin in front of Claire. Look out, Point Coffee. 3 o'clock. Don't be late. I checked the time. It was 2:30. I could still make it. I sped over to the coffee shop and saw them through the window, sitting at a table near the back. Kevin was holding a large manila envelope, a look of grim importance on his face. That had to be where he was keeping the photos. A comment appeared, and now the performance begins. He'll start by acting all torn up, saying he doesn't know if he should tell Claire the truth. Then he'll pull out the photos, pretending it's breaking his heart. Sure enough, Kevin's expression was a mask of tortured conflict as he spoke, shaking his head sadly. Claire's face grew paler by the second. I took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Claire, Kevin. I walked over to their table, keeping my voice as level as I could. Claire looked up, and her face went rigid. What are you doing here? Just came to have a chat with my best friend, I said, turning my gaze to Kevin, who was visibly flustered. Liam, hey, you're just in time, Kevin said, quickly regaining his composure and forcing a pained smile. I think there are some things we need to clear up, face to face. He picked up the manila envelope, putting on a show of agony. Buddy, I really don't want to hurt you, but what? I cut him off. Were you about to show her those doctored photos? Kevin froze. What are you talking about? I don't know anything about doctored photos. Claire looked between us, frowning. What is going on? I pulled out my phone and showed Claire the evidence I'd gotten from Mark. Claire, take a look at this. The screen displayed the entire Photoshop process, from the original, harmless photos of me to the final, incriminating fakes. Every step was documented. Claire's face went white. What is this? It means that our good friend Kevin, in his attempt to break us up, forged evidence of me cheating, I said, my eyes fixed coldly on him. Isn't that right, buddy? Sweat beaded on Kevin's forehead. Liam, what are you talking about? Those pictures are real. Real? I scoffed, zooming in on my phone screen to a glaringly obvious scene between my shoulder and a woman's arm. Then explain this. A torrent of comments flooded my vision. Kevin's panicking. He's about to start talking nonsense. Claire is finally seeing this snake for who he really is. Liam's comeback is epic. Claire stared intently at the phone, her expression hardening. She turned to Kevin. Is this true? Did you fake these pictures? Kevin was still trying to bluff his way out. Claire, don't listen to him. He's trying to frame me. Frame you? I pulled up another file. Here's the Venmo transaction to Mark Johnson, and the chat logs where you hired him. It's all here. Faced with undeniable proof, Kevin's facade finally crumbled. The fake innocence vanished, replaced by a venomous glare. So what if I did? You don't deserve her, Liam. Claire stared at him, stunned. Are you insane? Am I? Kevin sneered. I've been in love with you for 3 years, Claire. Since college. Why the hell did you choose him over me? So you used these disgusting lies to try and tear us apart? Claire stood up, her voice trembling. Kevin, I can't believe you're this kind of person. Claire, I really do love you. Kevin reached for her hand. Be with me. I'll treat you so much better than he does. Claire yanked her hand away. You call this love? This is obsession. It's selfishness. Watching the scene unfold, I was filled with a mix of emotions. I was furious at the betrayal from someone I call my friend, but my heart also ached for all the pain Claire had been enduring. A new comment popped up. This is the moment. Claire needs comfort from Liam. She feels incredibly guilty for misunderstanding him. This is a perfect chance to rebuild their trust. I walked over to Claire and gently took her hand. Claire, let's go home. She looked at me, her eyes welling with tears. Liam, I'm so sorry. I misjudged you. It's okay, I said softly. The important thing is that the truth is out now. Kevin wasn't ready to give up. Claire, you're really going to choose him? Without looking back, Claire said, Kevin, don't ever contact me again. Then, she walked out of the coffee shop with me. Back at our apartment, Claire was quiet. She sat on the couch, hugging a throw pillow, her eyes red and puffy. Claire, don't beat yourself up about it, I said, sitting down next to her. How can I not? She suddenly said, looking up at me as tears streamed down her face. Liam, do you have any idea how much pain I've been in? My chest tightened. I reached out to wipe a tear from her cheek. Every single day, I was wondering what I did wrong. Why you would betray our marriage, she said, her voice choked with emotion. I started to doubt myself, to wonder if our entire 3 years together was a lie. A comment gently faded into view. Claire's been going through hell. She's been having trouble sleeping, and she can't focus at work. Betrayal is a deal-breaker for her. She was already preparing to ask for a divorce. So that was it. No wonder she'd been so distant and distracted. She thought I'd cheated on her. Claire, I have never, ever betrayed our marriage, I said, looking her straight in the eye. From the day we got married, you've been the only one for me. I know, she said, wiping her eyes. But why was it so easy for me to believe Kevin? Does that mean there was already something wrong with us? Her question left me speechless. She was right. If our relationship had been solid, she wouldn't have believed a lie from someone else over trusting me. The floating text provided the answer. It's mostly because Liam has been so wrapped up in work lately, he's been neglecting Claire. Add in a bad relationship with her mother-in-law, and Claire was already feeling insecure. Kevin just took advantage of the cracks that were already there. It's my fault, I said, taking the blame. I've been neglecting you. Work is important, but it should never come before my own wife. Claire shook her head. It's not just you. It's both of us. Then let's fix it together, okay? I took her hand. Let's start over. She looked at me, her expression a mix of hope and doubt. Liam, do you really want to start over with me? After I doubted you so easily? Don't be silly, I said, gently caressing her cheek. You're my wife. Of course I do. Just then my phone rang. It was my mom. Mom, I answered. Liam, is something going on between you and Claire? My mother asked, her voice filled with concern. She seemed so down lately. I glanced at Claire, who looked away, embarrassed. It's nothing major, Mom. We'll figure it out. Well, that's good, she said, pausing for a moment. Listen, your brother's down payment for the house is still short $20,000. I was wondering. My heart sank. Not Leo again. Mom, we've talked about this. We're trying to save for our own place. We don't have that kind of money to spare right now. But his wedding is coming up so fast, and her family is putting on the pressure, my mother pleaded. Just help your brother out this once. He'll pay you back when he can. The comment started again, and here's the root of the mother-in-law problem. His mom has always favored the younger son, constantly making Liam pay for things. Claire's been putting up with this for years. I looked at Claire and saw the familiar flicker of resentment in her eyes. Mom, let me talk it over with Claire and get back to you. What's there to talk about? It's your money, isn't it? My mom said, her tone turning sharp. Or is it Claire who doesn't want to help? Hearing that, Claire's expression hardened. Mom, don't say that. We'll talk about this later, I said quickly, and hung up. The apartment fell silent. Claire let out a cold laugh. See? Some problems can never be solved. Claire, don't be angry. I'll make things clear with my mom, I said, try to defuse the tension. Make things clear. Claire stood up. Liam, do you have any idea how much money your family has taken from us over the last 3 years? I was speechless. She was right. Since we got married, we've been footing the bill for one thing after another for my younger brother, Leo. First, it was the seed money for his failed startup, then a car, and now a house. Every time, they called a loan, but we'd never seen a dime of it back. $50,000. Claire held up 5 fingers. Over $50,000. We're still renting an apartment, Liam. Why are we expected to buy your brother a house? A timely comment appeared. Claire's resentment has been building for a long time. She's kept quiet because she didn't want to cause problems in their marriage. But now she feels like she's being taken for a total fool. I know you feel wronged, I said, walking toward her. But Leo is my brother. Your brother? Claire's voice rose. And what am I? I'm your wife. But in your heart, I don't even rank as high as your brother. That's not true, isn't it? Her eyes were red as she stared at me. Every time your mom calls, you just say yes to everything. You never once ask how I feel. You never consider our own situation. Claire, do you know what I used to think? Tears started to fall. I thought that as long as we loved each other, I could put up with anything else. But now I see it. You don't love me at all. How can you say, I don't love you? I said, desperate. Love me? If you really loved me, why would you always let me be the one to make sacrifices? Why do you leave me to deal with your mother's snide remarks all by myself? The comments gave me more context. Liam's mom has never thought Claire was good enough for him. She's always bad-mouthing Claire behind her back. She even tells people that Claire is petty and unwilling to help out her brother-in-law. The severity of the situation began to dawn on me. Claire, what has my mom said to you? What has she said? Claire wiped her tears away. She said I was a jinx, that your career stalled after we got married because I was bad luck. I was stunned. She actually said that. That's not all, Claire said with a bitter laugh. She said I was an outsider and could never truly be part of your family. She said your brother was her real son, and I was just temporary. A surge of white-hot anger shot through me. My mother had said all these hurtful things behind my back. No wonder Claire had been so on edge. Claire, I had no idea she said those things. You didn't know? She looked at me, her eyes filled with disappointment. Liam, did you really not know? Or did you just pretend not to? I swear, I didn't know. If I had, I would never have let her talk to you that way. So now that you know, what are you going to do about it? Claire looked me straight in the eye. Are you going to keep pretending you didn't hear it? Or are you going to stand up to your mother for my sake? It was a choice. My mother on one side, my wife on the other. The comments started flashing frantically. This is it. The moment of truth. If Liam can't stand firmly with Claire now, the marriage is really over. A man has to step up and protect his own wife. I took a deep breath and took Claire's hands in mine. I'm going to talk to my mom. I'm going to make her apologize to you. An apology? Claire shook her head. Liam, I don't need her apology. I need to know where you stand. What do you mean? From now on, when it comes to your brother, we have the right to say no. When it comes to our money, we have the right to make our own decisions. She looked at me. Can you do that? At that exact moment, my phone rang again. It was my mother. Claire watched me, waiting for my answer. I glanced at the screen, then declined the call. From now on, I said, looking directly at Claire, we make our own decisions. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Leo. I glanced at Claire, who nodded for me to answer. Bro, why aren't you picking up mom's calls? Leo sounded agitated. What's up? I asked calmly. The house, man. What's the deal? The realtor is breathing down my neck. If we don't put the down payment in soon, someone else is going to get it. A comment popped up. Leo is lying. There's no pressure from the realtor. He just wants the money to blow on his lifestyle. He's not even planning on getting married. He's juggling 3 different girlfriends right now. Leo, are you really planning to buy a house and get married? I asked directly. Of course. Bro, what kind of question is that? Just checking, I said, looking at Claire. But about that $20,000. We can't do it. What? Leo's voice shot up. Bro, are you kidding me? 20 grand is nothing to you. It might not be nothing to me, but it's something we can't afford right now, I said, putting emphasis on the word we. Leo sneered. Bro, don't tell me Claire's gotten into your head. Claire's face immediately fell. Leo, watch your mouth, I said, my voice turning cold. Did I say something wrong? He shot back, unfazed. She's just some woman. How can she compare to your brother? Don't tell me you're completely whipped. That's enough. I roared. Claire is my wife, not just some woman. Bro, I hung up on him. Claire looked at me, a complicated expression on her face. Now you see why I can't keep helping them. Don't you? She said with a sad smile. In their eyes, I'll always be an outsider. I took her hand. In my eyes, you'll always be the most important person. My phone rang again. It was a joint call from my mom and Leo. I glanced at it and shut my phone off completely. Liam, if you do this, won't it? Claire looked worried. Won't it what? I asked her. Make them think I'm a bad son? Make them think I'm henpecked? She nodded. Then let them think that, I said, looking at her. Claire, I get it now. If you love someone, you have to make them feel like they matter. If a man can't even protect his own wife, what kind of man is he? The comments went wild. Liam finally gets it. This is how a real husband should act. Claire is about to cry from happiness. Sure enough, Claire's eyes were glistening with tears. Are you sure about this? She asked. If you fall out with your family because of me, you won't regret it? I won't regret it, I said firmly, because you're the partner I chose to spend the rest of my life with. She threw her arms around me, holding on tight. Thank you, Liam. Silly, you never have to thank me for this. We held each other for a long time, so long that I started to think all our problems were solved. But new comment warned me that things were far from over. His mom is on her way over right now. She's coming to demand an explanation. And she's bringing Leo with her. Worse, she's called in reinforcements, a couple of his aunts. My stomach dropped. My mom was bringing people over to start a fight. Claire, I said, pulling away gently. Why don't you go rest in the bedroom for a bit? I'll handle something. What is it? My mom. They might be coming over. I don't want you to have to deal with it. Claire shook her head. I'm not going to the bedroom. I'm going to face this with you. But, no buts, she said firmly. This is my home too. I have a right to be here. I looked at her determined face, and a wave of warmth washed over me. This was my wife. Even after everything she'd been through, she was still willing to stand with me. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang. We looked at each other, then walked to the door together. 4 people stood outside, my mom, Leo, and my 2 aunts. The second my mom stepped inside, her face was a thundercloud. Liam, you owe me an explanation right now. An explanation for what? I asked calmly. For your brother's down payment. Why won't you help him? She demanded. And why didn't you answer our calls? Because we really don't have the extra money, I answered truthfully. No extra money? My older aunt scoffed. Liam, you're a software engineer. You make good money. Don't tell us you don't have extra. We have a mortgage to pay and our own lives to live. We don't have money to support other people. Claire spoke up. My mother shot her a glare. I'm talking to my son. This doesn't concern you. Mom, I said sharply. Claire is my wife. This is our home. She has every right to speak. Home. My mom let out a derisive laugh. Liam, get your priorities straight. I'm your mother, and Leo is your brother. That's your family. A comment appeared. Classic emotional blackmail. For her, blood relation trumps everything. In her mind, Claire will always be the outsider. This is the critical moment. Liam has to hold his ground. You're right. You are my mother, and Leo is my brother, I said, looking her in the eye. But Claire is my wife. She's the partner I chose for my life. Life partner, my second aunt chimed in. Liam, you can always find another woman, but you only have one brother. Is that right? I shot back. So, by your logic, I should divorce Claire, find another woman, and expect her to unconditionally pay for Leo's house and car. Well, of course, that's what family does, my mother said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. Claire's face went pale. If that's the case, I said calmly, then I don't think any woman should ever marry me. Because she wouldn't just be marrying me. She'd be expected to support my entire family. What is that supposed to mean? My mother fumed. We raised you. Is this how you repay us? Repay you? I looked at her. Mom, since I started working, I've sent you money every month. I bought you gifts for every holiday. Does none of that count? That's different. How is it different? I pressed. How exactly do you expect me to repay you? Should I just sign my entire paycheck over to you? Should I treat my wife like a free ATM for the family? Leo, standing by the side, couldn't take it anymore. Bro, what happened to you? You never used to be like this. What was I like before? I turned to him. Before, I listened to everything you said. I agreed to everything you wanted. And you all thought that was just fine, right? Of course it was. Leo said, indignant. We're family. We're supposed to help each other. Help each other? Claire suddenly spoke up. And how have you ever helped us? Leo was at a loss for words. In the last 3 years, Claire continued, you've taken over $50,000 from us. Tell me, what have you ever done for us? I don't have to do anything for you. Leo's face twisted in anger. I'm Liam's brother. It's his duty to help me. His duty? I looked at him. Leo, you're 25 years old. You're an adult. An adult is supposed to be responsible for his own life, not feel entitled to his older brother's money. Liam, my mother yelled. Are you trying to cut us off? The comments were back. The ultimate guilt trip. His mom is using the threat of disownment to make him back down. He can't give in now. Not an inch. Mom, I'm not trying to cut you off, I said calmly. But I have to be responsible for my wife and for our home. Our home? My older aunt sneered. Liam, don't forget, without your family, you wouldn't have a home at all. I agree, I nodded. But the problem here isn't that I'm not being a good son. The problem is that you're demanding I unconditionally fund every single one of Leo's whims. What's the difference? My mom asked, completely serious. There's a huge difference, I said, looking at her. Honoring my parents is my responsibility. Buying my brother a house and a car is not. My mother was so angry she was sputtering. Just then, Claire spoke up. Excuse me, everyone. I'd like to say something. All eyes turned to her. She took a deep breath. I've been married to Liam for 3 years. In that time, I have tried my best to be a good daughter-in-law and a good wife. But I've realized that in your eyes, I will always be an outsider. You are an outsider, my second aunt blurted out. Well, if I'm an outsider, Claire said calmly, then you shouldn't be spending an outsider's money, should you? The room went completely silent. Claire's words stunned everyone into silence. She had them. If she was an outsider, then they had no right to her money. Claire, my mother's tone softened slightly. Ma'am, I know you don't like me, Claire said, her voice steady. You think I'm not good enough for Liam. But please remember, I am his legal wife. Our money is marital property. So what? My older aunt challenged. So, if you consider me an outsider, then please stop asking to spend an outsider's money, Claire said, looking them each in the eye. But if you consider me family, then please start respecting my opinion. Her logic was airtight. They had no response. A flurry of comments appeared. Claire is a genius. She completely dismantled their argument. These people are used to bullying their way through everything. They don't know how to handle being challenged. Leah married a great woman. My mother's face turned an ugly shade of red. Claire, are you threatening us? I'm not threatening anyone. I'm simply stating a fact, Claire said coolly. Either accept me as family or stop asking for my money. It's that simple. So, if we accept you as family now, you'll give us the money? Leo said, thinking he'd found a loophole. No, Claire said, shaking her head, because even family members aren't entitled to have every single demand met. Leo was speechless. And besides, Claire continued, Leo, you're 25 years old. It's time to stand on your own 2 feet. If you can't even afford a down payment on a house, then you're not ready to get married. That's ridiculous, my second aunt argued. Housing prices are insane these days. What young person doesn't get help from their family? Getting help is one thing. Being completely dependent is another, I said, backing Claire up. Leo has been working for 3 years. How much does he have in savings? Leo mumbled, refusing to answer. The floating text provided the details. Leo has no savings. He spends all his money on video games and going out. He has zero intention of ever taking responsibility for himself. I'll tell you, I said flatly. Leo has less than $1,000 in his bank account. In 3 years, he's earned over $100,000 and has less than 1% of it to show. Why should we help someone like that buy a house? Silence. My mom shifted uncomfortably. Leo's still young. It's normal for him to be a little careless with money. 25 is young? Claire asked. So how old is old enough? 30? 40? Or will he only be grown up when you're both too old to take care of him? How dare you speak to her that way? My older aunt snapped. Me? Claire gave a cold smile. Weren't you the ones who just said I was an outsider? I didn't realize outsiders had to watch their tone. They were cornered again, with nothing to say. I looked at Claire, filled with admiration. My wife wasn't just beautiful, she was brilliant. To stay so clear-headed in the middle of this family drama was truly incredible. All right, I said, stepping forward. Let's be clear. We're not paying for Leo's house. And from now on, please don't come to us for any of his expenses. Liam, my mom cried out. Are you trying to kill us? Mom, I'm not trying to kill anyone, I said calmly. I'm just asking everyone to be accountable for themselves. You and Dad raised us, and I'll always be grateful for that. I will always take care of you. But Leo's life is his own to manage. But he's your brother. Yes, he's my brother. And if he's ever in real trouble, I will be there for him. But buying a house for a wedding is not trouble. That's a responsibility he needs to handle himself. Leo suddenly started crying. Bro, are you really just going to abandon me? Seeing him cry, my heart softened for a second. But a comment quickly appeared. He's faking it. It's his go-to move. If you give in now, this will just happen again and again. Hold the line. Leo, I'm not abandoning you, I said, looking at him. But I can't live your life for you. You have to learn to stand on your own. But I really love my girlfriend. If I can't buy a house, she's going to break up with me, he sobbed. If she's going to leave you over a house, then she doesn't love you for who you are, Claire said. You're better off without someone like that. What do you know? Leo glared at her. You're just a petty, selfish woman who can't stand to see me happy. That's enough. I roared. Leo, watch your mouth. Claire is my wife, and I will not let anyone speak to her that way. Including us? My mother asked icily. Including anyone, I said firmly. My mother looked at me with deep disappointment. Liam, I see it now. You got a wife and forgot all about your mother. Mom, that's not fair, I said. I've never forgotten you, my mother. But Claire is my wife. I need you both to respect each other. Respect? My mom sneered. Has she shown us any respect? She's been giving us attitude since we walked in the door. Attitude? Claire shot back. When did I give you attitude? I have been trying to reason with you this entire time. Reason? You call this reasoning? This is just talking back, my second aunt yelled, pointing at Claire. I had reached my limit. Enough. All of you, please leave our home. The room fell silent. My mother stared at me in disbelief. You're kicking us out? Yes, I said, my voice unwavering. If you can't speak to us with respect, then please leave. My mother was trembling with rage. Fine, just fine. Liam, from this day on, I don't have a son. She turned and stormed out without a second glance. My aunts followed her, leaving only Leo standing there. Bro, he said, looking at me. Are you really going to do this? Leo, I hope you understand. I told him. I'm not helping you buy a house because I want to see you grow up, not because I don't care about you, but I really need the money. Then earn it yourself, I said firmly. If you really love that girl, then work hard and save up for a house yourself. Finally, Leo left. The apartment was quiet again, with just Claire and me. She sank onto the couch, looking exhausted. Claire, do you have any regrets? I asked, sitting beside her. Regret what? Marrying me. Having to deal with all of this. She shook her head. I don't regret marrying you. But I do regret being so passive for so long. You weren't passive. You were just kind. Kind. She laughed bitterly. Liam, for 3 years, I kept giving in, kept backing down, all because I wanted to keep the peace. But I've learned that with some people, the more you give, the more they take. A comment faded into view. Claire's right. Constant compromise only makes things worse. Liam needs to show he fully supports his wife now. This is the critical moment for rebuilding their marriage. Claire, from now on, you don't have to back down ever again, I said, taking her hand. I'll protect you. Really? She asked, her eyes a mixture of hope and worry. But if you do that, you might really fall out with your family. Then so be it, I said seriously. If their love requires me to sacrifice my wife's happiness, then it's not a love I want. She fell into my arms, hugging me tightly. Thank you, Liam. That night, I cooked her favorite meal, my special barbecue pulled pork. As we were eating, she suddenly said, Liam, can we start over? Start over? Yeah, like when we first got married. Just the two of us, focused on building our own little life, she said, her eyes shining. No more worrying about all the outside noise. Just us. Deal, I said without a moment's hesitation. The next few days felt like a second honeymoon. We went to work together, came home together, cooked together, and just talked. I realized how happy just being with Claire could be. I'd thought married life had become boring, but the truth was we had spent so much energy dealing with other people that we'd forgotten to focus on each other. The comments became a gentle stream of encouragement. This is how a healthy marriage should be. Claire is so much happier now. You can see the light back in her eyes. Liam's transformation has made her feel loved and secure again. A week later, my mom called. Liam, your father's in the hospital. He's sick, she said, her voice sounding frayed and weak. My heart seized. Is it serious? The doctors say he needs surgery. It's going to cost tens of thousands. I glanced at Claire. She gave me a firm nod. Mom, text me the address of the hospital. I'm on my way. When I got to the hospital and saw my dad lying in the bed, my chest ached. Dad, how are you feeling? Okay. It just hurts a bit, he said weakly. Liam, about the money for the surgery. Dad, don't you worry about that. I'll take care of it. My mom looked at me, her expression unreadable. Liam, she began, hesitating, about what happened last week. Mom, let's not talk about that now. I cut her off. Dad's health is the only thing that matters. After a long day of making arrangements for the surgery, Claire and I finally went home. You're not mad at me, are you? She asked. Mad about what? For not stopping you from paying for your dad's surgery. I shook my head. Claire, there's a difference between being a good son and being a doormat. Dad is sick. It's our duty to help him. She smiled. I knew you'd know the right thing to do. So you support this? Of course, she said. Being there for your parents is the right thing to do. But you have to know the difference between duty and being taken advantage of. A new comment appeared. Claire has such a good head on her shoulders. She never wanted Liam to abandon his parents. She was only against him enabling his brother's irresponsibility. A woman like this is a true partner. In that moment, I was more certain than ever that I had married the right person. My dad's surgery was a success, and the doctors said he was recovering well. During that time, something shifted in my mom's attitude. She watched as Claire visited the hospital every day, bringing my dad healthy food and keeping him company. Her expression grew softer. Claire, my mom said one evening, approaching her alone, you've worked so hard these past few weeks. Thank you. Of course. He's Liam's father, which makes him my family, too. Claire replied naturally. My mom was quiet for a moment. About what happened before. I was wrong. Claire looked surprised, but kept her composure. Let's just put the past behind us. No, I need to say this, my mom insisted, looking at her. I always thought Leo was still a kid and needed our help. But this whole situation has made me realize if we keep bailing him out, he'll never grow up. A comment gently materialized. His mom finally gets it. Her husband's health scare made her reevaluate what's truly important. Claire's actions during this crisis have earned her genuine respect. And my mom continued, I know I haven't been fair to you. You're Liam's wife. I should have treated you like a daughter. Claire's eyes welled up. Mom, can we start over? My mom asked, holding out her hand. Claire took it. Yes. I was standing just outside the door and saw the whole thing. I was deeply moved. Sometimes a crisis can be a turning point. My father's illness had forced all of us to rethink our priorities. A month later, my dad was discharged. Leo came to see him, but he seemed different. Bro, he said to me in private, my girlfriend really did break up with me. Because of the house. Yeah, he nodded. She said I had no ambition, no sense of responsibility. I looked at him and noticed he'd lost weight. He seemed more subdued, more mature. So what are your plans now? I want to get a serious job. Start saving my own money, he said, looking at me. Bro, I get it now. I can't just depend on you guys forever. The comment confirmed his change. Leo is finally starting to grow up. Sometimes a heartbreak is exactly what a person needs to mature. He finally understands what responsibility means. Then I'm proud of you, I said, clapping him on the shoulder. And if you ever really need help, I'll be there. But you have to help yourself first. I know, bro. Over the next 6 months, Leo really did change. He got a better job, started saving aggressively, and even enrolled in some night classes to build his skills. My mom completely changed her tune with Claire, calling regularly just to chat, and even learning to cook Claire's favorite dishes. One day, out of the blue, Claire said to me, "Liam, I think I want to have a baby." I looked at her, and my heart swelled. "Really? Yeah, I think we're in a really good place now. It feels like the right time," she said with a smile, "and I know we can give our child a happy home." The comments erupted in a celebratory flood. Yes, they're finally getting their happy ending. From crisis to stability, this family has finally come together. Liam and Claire have both grown so much. I pulled her into a tight hug. "Okay, let's have a baby." Just as we were settling into our happy new reality, an unexpected piece of news arrived. Kevin had been arrested. It turned out that faking evidence to break us up wasn't a one-time thing. He had been running a scam, defrauding several other couples using similar methods, and the total amount involved was substantial. When the police came to take our statements, we learned the full story. Kevin Bailey specifically targeted couples in stable relationships, the detective explained. He would befriend one of them, create elaborate deceptions to sow discord, and then profit from the fallout. Profit? Claire asked, confused. He was working with shady relationship consultants who specialized in breaking up marriages. He got a commission for every successful case, the detective said. "You two were lucky. You figured it out in time." The other couples all ended up getting divorced. Claire and I looked at each other, a wave of cold fear washing over us. If it hadn't been for those floating comments, our marriage probably would have been destroyed. The text appeared one more time. So Kevin was a professional homewrecker. People like that are the lowest of the low. Thank God Liam and Claire made it through. "We'll need you to testify in court," the detective said. Of course, I agreed without hesitation. A month later, Kevin was sentenced to 5 years in prison. As I watched my former friend being led away in court, I felt a strange mix of pity and closure. "Do you have any regrets?" I asked Claire after the trial. "About what?" "About having to go through all of this." She shook her head. "I don't, because it made us stronger than ever." She was right. Surviving that storm had deepened our understanding of each other and forged our bond into something unbreakable. A year later, our son was born. He looked just like Claire and was absolutely perfect. My mom waited outside the delivery room all night, and when she finally saw her grandson, she cried with joy. "Claire, you did so well." "Thank you," she said, holding Claire's hand, her eyes filled with pure gratitude. "It was worth it, Mom," Claire said with a weak but happy smile. Yes, she called her mom now, not ma'am. Leo came to visit his new nephew, bringing a huge stuffed bear. "Bro, sis-in-law, thank you," he said suddenly. "For what?" I asked. "For not giving up on me," he said, looking at the tiny baby in the bassinet. "And for teaching me what responsibility really means. I get it now. The most important thing for a man is to protect the people he loves, not to just keep taking from them." A final series of comments scrolled across my vision. Leo has truly grown up. This family went through a crisis and came out stronger and more united. Liam and Claire's love was tested, and it proved to be unbreakable. I looked down at the son in my arms, then at the wife by my side, and my heart was full. After all the chaos and pain, we had finally found our peace. "You know," Claire said softly, "I think we're incredibly lucky." "Why is that?" "Because when things got hard, we didn't give up on each other. We chose to fight for us," she said, her eyes sparkling. So many couples just run away or blame each other when problems arise. But we faced them, and we solved them. I squeezed her hand. Yes, we did. We chose each other. Outside the window, the sun was shining, and a gentle breeze was blowing. Our little family, after weathering all the storms, had finally found its spring. A final line of text appeared. The story is over, but their happy life is just beginning. Love requires effort. Marriage requires wisdom. May everyone who loves find the strength to stand by each other through the hard times. I looked at the words and felt a profound sense of gratitude. Without those strange, impossible prompts, I might never have learned the truth or found the courage to save my marriage. I understood now. Love requires a little bit of luck, but it requires courage and wisdom even more. Courage to face the things that try to tear you apart, and wisdom to know how to fix them. And most importantly, it requires you to never, ever give up on the person worth protecting. End of story.